Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Wednesday, 21st day of February, 6th day of Adar. Here we go. Very important halacha for you now, and it is about hearing the entire Megillah. Everybody knows that it is a mitzvah to hear the entire Megillah, every word of it. And because you're supposed to hear the entire Megillah and every word of it, a common mistake is sometimes made, and it's this. Let's say you're there at the reading of the Megillah and everything's going fine and you're following along beautifully, and suddenly the guy beside you sneezes really loud and you miss a word. And you think, oh no, that dummy just sneezed right next to me. I missed a word, and now I have to come back 10 o'clock tonight and hear the Megillah again because I missed a word. Well, hold on. Same thing can happen, by the way, when the reader is about to get up to the word Haman, and as soon as he says Haman, an overzealous guy next to you with a loud noisemaker happens to make a very loud noise while the reader is in the middle of saying the word Haman. So you know he was saying the word Haman, but you actually didn't get to hear the whole word. So you say, oh no, this nut next to me made a loud noise in the middle of the word Haman. I didn't hear that whole word Haman. The reader didn't repeat it, so I'm done, and I have to come back later at 10 o'clock tonight to hear the Megillah again. So hold on, that's not necessarily true. The halacha is that you have to hear the majority of the Megillah from the reader as he reads it to you from the parchment scroll that he's using. However, if you miss a word, you are allowed to get a minority of the words, a few words here and there, Baal Peh, which means not from having heard it from the Baal Koreh. So if, let's say, the word, I don't know, Hamelech or something, is blotted out by a loud noise that's next to you, you can quickly say the word Hamelech to yourself, even if you're not reading it out of a kosher parchment Megillah. And now you heard 99% of the Megillah from the parchment as the reader was reading it to you, and you heard the word Hamelech privately as you said it quietly to yourself, and you're okay. So if you miss a word, but you quickly say that word to yourself and catch up immediately and hear the rest of it from the reader, you're fine. Okay? So you can miss a word and still fulfill the hearing of the Megillah as long as you say that missed word to yourself quietly. But before you go relying on this totally, you need to know that you cannot use this trick anywhere and everywhere throughout the Megillah. You cannot use it for the beginning or end of the Megillah. In other words, if you come late and you miss the first sentence and you just quickly say the first sentence to yourself, that's not going to cut it. You have to hear the reading of the Megillah from the beginning. And if at the end you duck out 10 seconds too soon and you miss the last 10 seconds and you just quickly say that last sentence to yourself, that's not going to cut it either. You must hear the beginning and the end from the reader. Also, you cannot miss an entire portion of the Megillah. Let's say that story where Bigsan and Seresh hear the plot to poison the king. I'm sorry, Mordechai overhears Bigsan and Seresh's plot to poison the king. That just takes a couple of sentences, and you miss that whole piece, just a couple of sentences, and you quickly read that to yourself. That's no good either because you can't miss an entire segment of the Megillah. The only thing you could do is a word here and there that the Baal Koreh, the reader, had it get swallowed up by some other noise. You can quietly say it to yourself and go right on hearing the reader. If you have a kosher parchment and you know how to pronounce all the words correctly, you can easily fill in lots of words by just saying them from your kosher parchment, because then the words that you didn't hear from the reader, you're hearing from you reading them from a kosher parchment. But not everybody has that. I would say most people at the reading of the Megillah have their own printed thing, which isn't a kosher Megillah. So then you can just do this little trick here and there to replace missed words by saying them to yourself. If this does happen, you might want to check with the rabbi and say, this is the word I missed, this is what I did, and he'll rule for you whether you have to hear the Megillah again, yes or no. But when it happens, do that patch, of saying the word, and then go check with someone who knows what they're doing and say, all right, here's what happened to me. I missed these two words at this and this spot, and I said them, and blah, 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 blah. And somebody smart might be able to rule for you whether you do not have to come back to a later reading of the Megillah. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.